Good morning, my name's Danny Fuller, tattoo artist, 46 years now. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my 7th video now. This is a little bit different from the other ones I've done, the canvases of tattoos. I like sculpting, and I like to sculpt in clay, polymer clay, all types of things, fantasy, historical figures, all sorts really, mainly busts, but I do full figures. So this is a sculpture that I did years ago during lockdown. It's a tribute to what my favourite tattoo picture ever, favourite tattoo canvas. It's by a guy called Rockwell, an American, who was active in the 40s up to the 70s, I suppose. Quite a while. He used to work for the Morning Post, and in those days there was a lot of canvas art used instead of photographs, because the photography wasn't so good. So he would be doing front pages, all sorts. And this particular one is my absolute favourite. It's a tattoo artist tattooing a sailor who is back in port from his travels, and he's obviously met some young lady in a foreign port, and decided to have her name tattooed on him. This is the picture. You might recognise it. It's very well known. It's just fantastic. If you look, the guy's sitting there with his arms. You can't quite see all the tattoos, but it's a proper old school setup. So, like I say, I liked it so much. I forgot to say, above the name that he's having put on his arm now, there are about 3 or 4 different names of other girls that he's had as girlfriends or loves in his ports, and they're all crossed out with a line through them. And I just thought that just tickled me. So I've admired this picture for years and years. So when lockdown came along and I was doing a bit of sculpting, I thought, why don't I have a go at a tribute 3D thing of this. They call it a vignette. You've got a couple of figures in a setting, of whatever they're doing. It could be a forest or a beach or something, but this is in an old tattoo studio. So it took me forever. They're about the scale of Action Men, so 1/6 scale, because you can really see what's what on a larger scale. And it took me like I say, it took me forever. I had to do 2 or 3 different artists before I was happy with it. And same with the sailor, getting his face right and his all his sort of posture and that. So, but in the end, I was quite happy with the result. So, like I say, it was a lot of work, but I have changed it a bit. The artist is left-handed instead of right-handed, and because I'm left-handed, so I just thought I'd make a little thing of that. And I didn't want to do an exact copy, but I sat there looking at it for a while when it was completed, and then I thought, well, why don't I make some moulds of it, so that of the pieces, so that I can maybe make a kit of it to sell or do it fully assembled. So I did. That took a long time as well. So, but it's all come to fruition now. And then I thought, why don't I do on my tattoo channel, me making a tattoo vignette of The Tattooist by Rockwell. So that's what this is all about. It's a time lapse. It shows you how I cast it all up in resin, put it together, build the background, the little tattoo studio, and basically how it's done, and show you the end result. And also, like I say, there's a little segment of my sculptures that I've done. I just thought I'd put that in just for a change. My cabinet with all my sculptures in that I've done, there must be 30 of them or more, but I hope you like those, just to show you what kind of things I like doing, really. So yes, let's go and see how it's all done. I hope it inspires you, and I hope you like it. You never know, you might want to have a go at sculpting yourself. It's really good fun, and I use a thing called Super Sculpey, it's a polymer clay, and you can model it, do what you like with it, and then it'll stay soft until you put it in the oven, and then you put it in at 130 degrees for 10-15 minutes, and it sets rock hard. So it's fantastic. You can change things, and it's very popular. Look it up. You can get it from Amazon, but that's what I use. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy this, and thanks for coming back to my channel. Here we go. The story begins. There's a load of all the moulds for the kit, meticulously laboured, as you can see. Bits and pieces I've done before and haven't yet used. So we're going to do, I'm not going to do everything, mould up everything, because that would be a bit boring. So this is the two bodies, the artist's body and the sailor body. I think all in all there's about 25 pieces to this kit, so it's quite an undertaking. Here we go. You've got to make sure you don't get leaks, because believe me, if you look by that brown bottle, which is one of my parts of resin, you can see I had a leak. I still don't get it right every time, but these things are sent to triers. It's a two-part resin I use. It turns out white or cream coloured like that in that cup. Part A and part B, you mix equal amounts. I don't pour it all in to the mould at one time because it dries pretty quickly, this stuff. So unless you could waste a lot. The resins is quite expensive nowadays. So I do bit by bit, just to make sure, fingers crossed, that I'm getting it in all the parts of the mould. There's lots of little detailed parts like ears, noses, and you don't want air bubbles because that really mucks your day up. I'm putting a bit of spacers in there just so I don't have to use so much resin, and it makes the kit lighter as well. If you pour it in a very thin stream like that, then that helps you not get air bubbles, but air bubbles are the enemy of the sculptor, or the caster in this case. Professionals, companies like Tamiya and they make the tanks and planes and that, they use something called injection moulding, which that drives the medium that you're using, usually plastic, into the mould via a vacuum, so that it goes to all the little tiny fiddly parts, and you don't get any air left in the mould, so the castings come out perfect. Mine are not quite perfect, but they're pretty good. They just take a bit of filing down, a bit of filling, so that's easily done. Time consuming, but there you go. You want it to look really good. Bit of overexposure there, sorry about that, but you will get a good look at their faces in a bit. There they go, the artist and his customer. Bit of cleaning up to do. The bit knobs at the bottom and stuff, here we go. Just use a file and clean up they call it flash, funnily enough. Flash is a very popular word in tattooing, as you all know, I'm sure. I'll just do one more piece for demonstration purposes. The sailor's left leg. I don't want leaks, look. You learn by experience in life, don't you? Those rubber bands will tell you how many times I've had leaks. The moment of truth. Has he got a whole leg or is his foot missing? We'll see. This one turned out pretty good. Still got your bits, your excess bits, but they're filed off. And yeah, that one came out very good. Lots of filling of the gaps to do when I put them together, but you expect that with a kit, especially an amateur one such as myself. There they are. 8 pieces to the tattooist. That's his suitcase he sits on under his legs, and that's got his power pack in it. I put leads going to that on the actual diorama. That's the cash box that he puts his other foot on, his left foot, that you can see on his right foot there, the foot switch. I've already done the tattoos on his arms on the sailor because I had some arms already moulded up. There's a chair he sits in and there's his legs. That's all resin as well. Here's my cabinet. This is work I've done. Mainly busts and things like that. You've got Freddy, there's an ogre, vampire, there's a gladiator at the back, there's a giant slayer dwarf, Viking on the bottom, then there's a goblin on the left with the Mohican, and an orc pilot on the back. Gladiator. Jack in the Box, that was a good one. I had moulds of all of these, but then when 3D printing came along, that ruined it for handmade ones unless you're really, really tip-top. So I took the decision to throw all the moulds away, but luckily I kept the Tattoo Studio one. There's a bronze gladiator, look, bronze effect. These are all resin, cast in the same way as I'm doing now on this video. That's the monk and the pirate. There's Hellboy, there's another Viking. There's the bishop with his brands on his face of his crosses. I really enjoyed making that one. There's a fire wizard at the back with all his smoke. There's a fat Heath Ledger. He didn't come out quite as I wanted it to. But I do like the ogres there. Yeah, there's some, you saw those, that's the orc pilot. I had a friend come round my house once, and when he walked in, he hadn't been in before, and he looked around. He said, "Fuck, it looks like I've got to pay to get in," and that's pretty much the best compliment I think I've ever had in my life, or one of the best. Here we go then. Next stage is painting. I'll put the arms on later because there's lots of detail with them on the tattoos. They both got tattoos, obviously, but yeah, not looking too bad. He's all filled. That bit on his nose is where I filled it because he had a nostril missing, as you do. But here we go. I kept it fairly close to the picture, but I didn't want to copy it exact. But you know, they're pretty posh in those days. Look, no jeans. He was wearing trousers, and he's got posh shiny shoes and a nice pink striped shirt. I use acrylic model paints. You can see them all in the back there. That blue box is my mum's old sewing box. I kept it after she passed away. I'm a sentimental old fool, and you can't help it really, can you? I don't think she'd approve of me using her sewing box to paint tattoo artists though. She never was keen on that, bless her. Onto the sailor now. Obviously navy blue. I did look up the uniforms from the 40s, and this is pretty close to how they were. I did put some stripes down his trousers. I'm not sure if they all had stripes down their trousers, but it made it look good. So in they went. tattooist's arms next. Paint the shirt first because it's on top of the skin, so that when you paint the skin it's easier to paint up to the pink rather than, you can see I'm going over with the pink onto his flesh. But I find if you do it this way around, it's much easier, time saving, otherwise you'd have to paint it all again. But he has got a stripy pink shirt in the picture, and I did like that idea. Here we go on the stripes. Very difficult with all the folds in the skin, in the material, so I'm just doing the best I can there. But it looks pretty good. It's a representation, you know. We're not into super detail, otherwise they'd take me forever. Now the fiddly bit, the tattoos on the sailor. I tried to keep them old school, but I couldn't help getting a little bit carried away with some of it, dragons and stuff like that. But they would have done all that sort of stuff in the 40s and 50s, just not quite as colourful as they are nowadays. But it's very difficult drawing onto the excuse me, on the painted surface, so I had to use a bit of a thicker pen than I'd normally want to use, but it does the job, and I think they look quite good at the end, as you'll see. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking of all this. Might get to do another one someday of me actually sculpting something, you never know, but we'll see. I think I've used up the tattoo subject now with this. I decided to do a cobweb on his elbow, which was pretty popular in the old days. And I remember the first one I ever did, it was hilarious. He had his arm bent like that, the guy I was doing it on, so I drew on my cobweb pretty much as I'm doing there. and tattooed it all on, lovely. The guy, I said, straighten your arm out, let's have a look. And he straightened his arm out, and the bloody thing disappeared. I'd done it too small, so you could just see this tiny little cobweb right on the end of his elbow. So we had to sit back down again, and I had to extend it by about 3 or 4 inches. So yeah, there you go. Learn by your mistakes. Luckily, it wasn't a mistake. It was just needed a bit of extra work. Back to the clothes again now. Tattooist waistcoat. And the sailor's vest. Here we go with the flesh starting to come together now. Someone said that it looks a bit like me, but I don't think so. The hair might have done. There we go, that's all the painting pretty much finished. There's the tattoos on the sailor's arms. So they're a bit colourful, but why not? And there's the names all crossed out. Olga, Betty, Kim, Susie, and I think he's having Maria put on now. So he obviously just came back from Italy, maybe, or Spain. There's your tattooist. I put tattoos on the tattooist's hands because he could have them, but you certainly couldn't if you were in the Navy in them days. You'd have been straight to the brig. Ready for assembly now. Ah, there's my little tattoo machine. Yeah, that was really fiddly, but it did come out quite good. But it was a bastard to cast because it was so little resin went in there. It didn't always drop to the end of the machine, so I'd probably get 1 in 4 out of that. But not bad, it's only a little bit of resin. And here they are. The tattooist, left-handed tattooist. Now I'm cutting out the sides of the studio. This is just a quick detail of how I built the surroundings for them. That's the walls done. Now I've got to lay the floor. Checkered lino. How posh. That's PVA glue. Once it's all painted up, there's tattoo sheets on the wall, tattoo flash, and I've super detailed it with things like ink spills on the floor because you do get in a hell of a state with all that ink flying around. So I think it's quite a good representation really of an old tattoo studio. Tattoo flash all over the walls, which is how it used to be. Oops. I didn't quite plan that one. I got the wrong wall on there, so just got to keep your wits about you. There we go. That's the right size. There you go, your basic shop. Floor laid, walls painted. Time to strengthen the walls now. Last thing you want is someone to pick it up and it falls to bits. This is plastic angle edging. And here's my little assistant, Nellie. the Frenchie. Her job is to, anything that falls on the floor, is to make sure she chews it out thoroughly so you can't use it again. So I think I managed to rescue that bit though, so that was good. Saved me a couple of bob. Now the fun bit, putting all the flash up on the walls and the signs. Tattoo studio, no money, no tattoo, that kind of thing. Good tattoos aren't cheap, cheap tattoos aren't good. Now this one used to make me laugh. That was on there, my take was that was on their walls because if anyone thought that the tattoo you'd done on them was a bit expensive for what they actually got, then the sign was there as a get out clause. If it was expensive, then obviously it must be good. It does make me think back to the old days when studios used to look like this. Terrific. Everyone had an atmosphere, different atmosphere. Cash only, of course. Okay, test fitting them. Hopefully I've made it big enough. Yeah, move it up a bit. There you go, starting to look good. And there we go, the finished item. Everything added, all the cables for the tattooist machine, the clip cord, the foot switch, the cash box he puts his foot on. Don't want no one running off with that. And quite an attractive piece, I think. I really hope it goes down well, and I really hope you like it. Let me know in the comments, please. And if you could like my video and subscribe to the channel, you'll get updates every time I put a video up, and it does help my algorithm. So if it's not too much trouble, please could you do that? Thanks ever so much for watching. Oh look, he's got scissors in his pocket. I forgot about that. Thanks again. See you on the next one.